In this dog training video, we're going to teach our dogs to leave it. So stay tuned. So the first thing is that leave it means to ignore something, not to sniff it, not to investigate it, not to pick it up. Right, monkey? The other thing to remember is that I need to teach it to my dog. I can't just go on a walk and tell my dog leave it for all these good things and expect him to leave it alone if I've never taught him that leave it means he's going to get something better. So I want to teach Dexter that leave it doesn't mean that he's not getting something. Leave it means I have something better. So that's going to make it easier for when he's off leash running around in the house and something's on the floor and I tell him to leave it. So he's going to have that in his head and go, oh, Mom's got something better. So not only will he leave it, he's more likely to come to me. We also want to remember that it's going to take time, repetition, and training sessions. So it's not one session, he's got it. Or it's not, I leave a boring little biscuit, now I'm going to leave the sandwich you just dropped. We have to teach in stages. So the first step I want to teach them is, again, in their head, leaving one thing means something better is going to happen. So that's the concept I want in my dog's head. It won't always be the case for real life, but if that's what he's thinking is going to happen, and that's what we've been training for, because remember, training is about training, not just needing. So I need to train and practice leave it, not just try to use it when I need it. So I want to teach them and practice. And practicing should be fun. This is all part of that engagement. When people ask me, what can I do with my dog? He's so bored and, what kind of indoor activities can we do? It's these training games. Because if you do it in a fun, positive way, they're going to look forward to it. It's fun. It doesn't have to just be tricks. All training is fun. So let's start lesson 1. So lesson 1 is I'm going to put a lower value treat in my hand, put it up to Dexter's area. When he ignores it, I'm going to yes and give him a reward that's better. Now I don't say my words yet. We're going to pretend level 1, and he might go for it because we haven't practiced this for a little while this way. Boring treat's going to be the one by his nose. I don't have the reward treat in my hand, so it's not leave this because I have this. It's when he does this, out comes the other one. That's what that yes marker is. That yes marker is taking a snapshot of, boom, you've done it right. Give me a second, here comes a reward. So treat to him. When he ignores it, without me saying anything, I try to keep my hand as steady as possible. Yes! The better treat happens. Okay? So again, boring treat. Yes! And then better treat. And for dogs like Dexter that are positively trained and we're using food as lures, this can be a little challenging at the beginning. So boring treat, because they're used to following the food. So the correct answer is to leave it alone on his own. I'm trying not to pull my hand back. I'm not bopping him in the nose. I'm not giving him any other feedback except not giving it to him when he does that, and yesing and rewarding when he leaves it alone. So boring treat, yes. He doesn't have to sit or give me eye contact. You can make that a goal in the future. It's just not the first criteria I have. Yes! Now when he ignores it, it's a yes and then a reward. Not taking the food and going closer to him. If he ignores it, that's a win. Yes! Once your dog is successful at this, the next thing I do is I add the word. Because I don't want to say leave it and my dog's got his whole mouth on my fist. I want to be able to say leave it and my dog does it relatively quickly. This is attaching the cue to the behavior. So the word, leave it, yes. And when he ignores it, yes and treat. If he doesn't ignore it right away, I don't say leave it again. So it's not leave it, leave it, leave it, leave it. I again wait for the behavior to happen. So leave it, yes. Leave it, yes. So that's going to take some repetitions. So just because he did it at this stage right here, right now, tomorrow when you go to practice it, he's probably going to go back and, So you're always kind of going back. So tomorrow when I practice it, if I were to end this today, tomorrow when I practice it, I'm going to go ahead and not say the word again. I'm going to take it back a step. I'm going to offer the food, wait for him to leave it alone, yes, and then reward, and then kind of build again. So from lesson to lesson, I'm always going back a little bit and then rebuilding, so that you're kind of going back and rebuild, back and rebuild, back and rebuild, that sort of thing. I also want to make sure that my lessons are short and sweet. So after a practice, after a few breaks, the next level that I do is I'm going to open hand it. So instead of having the treat in my closed hand and offering it to Dexter, I'm going to have it in my open hand and offer it to Dexter. But you have to be ready to close. So I don't want my dog to get the reward. That's my goal. If my dog reaches in and grabs that leave it item, all I'm doing is teaching him to be faster than me. I don't want that. So be ready. So we've attached the word, and now we're going to say the word right before I open my hand. So I'm going to tell him the word, leave it, close that fist. Open it, yes. So I want to be able to open that hand and have him leave it. So you ready? Leave it, yes, good boy. Leave it, yes, good boy. Leave it, yes, whoops. That'd be a leave it too. But I just haven't grabbed it. Leave it, yes. That's a later stage. Good boy. All right, so that's another level. So then after that's successful, again, a couple of days, I'm going to go back and revisit those instead of always making things harder. The next thing I want to do is what we just did on accident. But I want to be ready to cover it up. So you ready? Leave it. Good boy, yes. And then I want to pick it up and do it again. I am putting it right now kind of to my side so that I can swoop in there if he tries to get it. Leave it. Good boy. Remember, I don't want him to have that leave it treat. So I always need to be ready. So if I'm feeding him that treat, I need to be ready to scoop this up. I don't want him diving in and getting it. Never, never, never. These are the pills you dropped. He doesn't get it ever. Leave it. Good boy. Leave it? Yes! I don't know where those good boys came from. Leave it? Yes! As your dog's starting to get better, you start changing what it is that he's leaving it. So you're changing that value. So it's not just always that boring biscuit. It's now a little something meatier. Now it's a toy. Now it's this. Now it's during our walk. You're going for a walk. Your dog has a habit of picking up the sticks. If you've started this foundation, then what you can do is, as you're going for that walk and you see the pile of sticks, make sure you're far enough away from those sticks that if you've asked your dog to leave it and he ignores your request, that he can't get the stick. Remember, we don't want him to get the prize. So you're walking along, you see those piles of sticks, you know the leash is short enough. If he tries it, he'll miss it. You walk along and you say, leave it. If he does leave that pile of sticks, a big reward, a jackpot, woohoo, what a good boy. You give him a nice prize. If instead he goes for the pile of sticks, remember, the leash is going to be too short, so he's going to reach the end and hit the end of his harness. And then that tells you, we still need to practice a little more. The next pile of sticks, I'm going to add a little more distance so that it's a little easier for him to do, and then rebuild. Because again, you want to try to figure out what's missing and how you're not getting success, and give it some more distance, practice a little more, higher rewards for when they do it right. And when you're practicing and you're doing well in the home environment and you're dropping those treats, remember, you start to drop other things. Make things real. Have a setup where you're in the kitchen and you're prepping some food. You drop that biscuit on the floor and you say, leave it. Be ready to swoop it up if he goes in for the kill. If he doesn't go for it, reward that. Leave it. Good boy. Leave it. Good boy. So you want to think about that when you're training. Don't always make it feel like a training session. Try to make it feel a little more real too. If you enjoyed this dog training video, do hit the thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Click the bell icon so that you'll be notified of upcoming videos. And if you want to dive deeper into your dog's training, behavior, and care, do check out my Patreon page. The link is below. Until next time, remember to pause and enjoy life. And we'll see you in the next video. You want another one? All right.
Let me tell you a story about the baddest dog that ever was. Sneaking food from the fridge, tearing up the garbage. He's a goofy old Dexter the dog. He's a bad, bad Dexter the dog.